Hi, it's Paula from Pola Quilting. Welcome back to my channel. After I've done my potato chip last time, I went through all my boxes with cut scraps already, and those are the 2.5 by 4.5, and I've noticed I got a lot of 4.5 squares, and they all shared fabric, so I thought maybe that would be a good opportunity to come up with some sort of design to use them up on this occasion. So I'm kind of achieving 3 goals here, or even more. We see one, I'm using up my scraps. I'm using, like I said, shirts, but you can obviously use whatever you've got in your buckets. You just need 4.5-inch squares and 2.5 by 4.5 inch pieces. I will work so it's a quick block, so I can chain piece as much as I can, and because I'm using upcycled fabric, it's also going to be quite cheap quilt, so I can afford to make as many blocks as I can work out from that, and make many quilts. So let's have a look what we can do out of those. So I thought about 2 blocks. I can mix them into a bigger piece of the quilt. So block A, it is going to be a 9 patch, but it will be combination of the 2.5-inch strips and squares. So let's go with the block A. And how many blocks you want for a quilt? It depends how big quilt you want. We will be alternating block A and B, so you can draw it on your graph paper to calculate how many you need. The finished block, before you sew it into the quilt, will be 12.5 inches, so you can mix it maybe with something else, even with potato chip block if you've got some made from the shirts as well. So let's add some now strips. Maybe I swap those ones just to have a little bit of pop of color on both sides. And as you can see, I'm not planning anything here. I just don't want to have the same pieces in kind of close to each other. I've got enough of shirts to mix and match different designs. And that blue here. Okay, so let me just show you quickly how you can speed sew that block so you have the least amount of work. And I also mentioned probably a few times by now that I don't like to iron unless I really have to. You can iron anything in between if that's how you like to do your own blocks, but I will iron it at the very end. But I will show you how to sew it so you don't have a problem with seams going that side or other side. However, I don't have a problem with that either if they go wrong way, because as far as the block lies flat, which way seams going really doesn't matter. Okay, I've got my 1/4-inch foot on my machine, quite narrow stitch length. I go to about 2, and I'm taking the first square and I'm just going to add my first rectangle to it. Then I'm going to take my first 2 rectangles from the second row, and I'm going to take rectangle and square from the third row. You want to be a little bit more precise with the seams here. However, if your block is not going to match up later when we put those rows together, don't worry, just square it up to the smallest one you've got and put them together that way. It really will not show if you trim it a little bit. So I took the next rectangle from the top row and I'm just cutting off the kind of next row here, and I'm taking next piece of the row, so it kind of all chain piece one by one. That way I also don't have to remember too much what's with what. I just go one after another. So my top row is now finished. I can put it away. I can take my second row and add the last piece of it. That's the bottom row. Now in this moment I will start laying my next block, so I don't have to kind of cut this one out yet. Let's just put quickly a next block. Okay, so my second block is laid out exactly the same way, and I'm starting again from the top left with the first piece of that row. Now I've got my middle section of the first block. I can sew first two rows together. So I do want to nest here if I can. Basically I'm sewing now a 9 patch, so I want to have those middle sections here nest up where they're meeting. But if they don't, like I said, you know, it's not a big problem with this type of scrappy block. If they meet, that's fine. If they don't, I'm not going to worry about it either. Okay, now I will take second row of this block, first two pieces, third one. I just want to keep that order the way it's supposed to be. Now I'm taking my first row out of the back. I will add next piece. And then I've got my first block here. So let's just open it up and I can now add my last piece. With that, what you want to make sure is the piece you've got sewn already is at the top, and the piece you're adding is at the bottom, because at the top you already got seams sewn and you know which way they're going for the nesting in those middle sections. So that's what you want to watch if you really want to have them nested. So here I know this seam needs to go up, so the bottom seam I will put down. And also this seam I know which way it's going, so I can put it the same way so it doesn't disturb anywhere. This bottom seam doesn't matter which way it goes, it doesn't nest with anything. So this seam goes down, so the bottom seam will be going up. Let's make it nice and flat here. And again this seam goes down, so I'll keep it down. And that's my first block done, but I won't be cutting it off yet. I'll just carry on with my other pieces here. So that's my second row and third row. And as you can see, this quilt, if you have your pieces cut, or you know, if you're following some sort of scrap management and you have pieces cut, this is so quick to put together. And like mentioned, I'm using a shared fabric because that's how, you know, I want to use up my scraps at this quilt. But you can use any scraps, all the colors, all the designs, everything goes in this one. So very good scrap buster. So here's my block one ready. We'll take it to the iron in a bit. That's my next row. If you feel like you might lose kind of order or something, just take the picture of that block when you lay it out before you start sewing together, so you can always refer to it for the kind of order of the work you want to complete it with. Okay, so this is going to be time to add the third block to carry on chain piecing. So that's block A, and the block B is going to be a small difference. So we're gonna put a squares where the pieces are and pieces where the squares are, and kind of lay them out the same way that they all going in the same direction. So I will do some of those blocks as well. And I will show you how I want to lay them out when they're coming together to kind of create additional pattern. So just before I pop them on the design board to show you a bigger kind of piece, I just want to show you how they look when they have been ironed. So all the seams kind of went fine here, and I do use a spray starch when ironing last time blocks. I use spray starch when I have a lot of seams, but I also use especially with the shared fabric, because some of them are more flimsy than others, so it's good to kind of make it a little bit more rigid when you want to put it together. So that's block A, the one I just showed you how I quickly made it, and this is block B. So literally just, you know, as a 9 patch, I swapped around where the two pieces are with the plain piece here. So but I've sewn it exactly the same way, going one by one, you know, row by row, and then put them in together. So I'll be making 4 pieces of one block and 5 pieces of another block to create another big 9 patch. So from 3 blocks by 3 blocks I will have 36 inches quilt, so quite nice kind of beginning of the baby quilt. So I will think about what kind of nice border I could add to it later to make it a little bit bigger. Now my fabrics are probably not so great, you know, the shirts I found were not most fancy ones, but obviously you will have different fabrics, so that will look totally different. I do totally recommend you to try this block. This is one of those blocks I'm calling back to basics, because we're only using squares and we're only using rectangles, and there's so many options we can make out of those. So especially if you're a beginner, there's no point of, you know, cracking on very complicated designs and get you maybe put off from quilting in the first place because of that. Just try simple designs, they can be awesome as well. Okay, so I will finish the rest of my blocks and let's have a look at the design board. Okay, so before I show you my blocks made of shirts, I just want to show you how they look in just various scraps, not shirt wise. So this is the block A. I just put together random scraps exactly the same way like with shirts, just pull out, just making sure that, you know, the same fabric is not twice in the block. No other kind of arrangements was here made. And here are the blocks B. And this is how they look when I combine the quilt together. So as you can see, another great scrapper with basic pieces, and it will make really nice quick quilt. And because we're putting those blocks with those smaller strips kind of going in different directions, it adds a movement there as well, so it's not all the same layout. If you stay till the end, I will show you those blocks mixed up with some other stuff. So if you're interested in how you can kind of dress them up again, then please stay till the end of this video. Okay, so let's have a look at our shirt blocks. So here again, block type A or B, whichever you want to make more, or however you call them. So that's the one type of the block. Here's the second type of the block, and here is how they look put together. Probably not as impressive as the other blocks I showed you a second ago, because the shirts I had, well, they were not that impressive color wise, but it really will depend what you use to make those blocks, how those blocks will pull through. Now I just made 9 of those blocks, so this is about 36 by 36 quilt at the moment, a quilt top. It can be quilt top, but I've got an idea for a very interesting border to add to those blocks to make it into lap quilt. So if you want to find out what I will make with it, please subscribe and hit the bell button. It will notify you when the next tutorial is up. So now let's have a look at a collection of the pictures with the other blocks and how you can mix them up with something else to make it even more interesting. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please check the description below for additional information. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and now also on my own website. I would love if you join me on all of those social medias and my website. Your support is really greatly appreciated. Thank you for joining, thank you for watching, and see you next time.